Have you ever been in a situation where your friends are upgrading their cars, moving into nicer apartments, posting vacation pictures from Tulum, and you're sitting there thinking, should I be doing that too? Or is this a terrible financial decision? You start running the numbers in your head. You think about interest rates. You think about opportunity cost. You think about the fact that $800 a month invested at 8% for 30 years turns into over $1.1 million. And suddenly, the vacation doesn't look that relaxing anymore. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to hit really close to home. Because today, we're not talking about test scores. We're not talking about GPA. We're not talking about how fast you can solve a Rubik's Cube. We're talking about the real-world signs of high IQ, especially when it comes to money. And here's the thing. A lot of these signs actually feel like disadvantages at first. They make you question things more. They make you uncomfortable with trends. And they make you look at money very differently from most people. But over time, those same traits often lead to better financial decisions. So, let's talk about the 10 signs of high IQ that show up in real life, not in a classroom. My name is Money Mechanics, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people make financial decisions and why so many of them quietly sabotage their future. If you're someone who constantly questions your money decisions, feels like you're behind financially, or worries you're not smart enough to build wealth, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, here's the thing. Most people think high IQ means you're good at math. But in the real world, high IQ shows up in how you handle uncertainty, risk, and delayed gratification. According to research published in journals like Intelligence and long-term data from the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth, cognitive ability strongly correlates with lifetime earnings, savings behavior, and even debt management. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not about knowing more. It's about thinking differently. So, let's start with sign number 1. You feel uncomfortable copying other people. Most people rely heavily on social proof. If everyone's buying houses, they buy houses. If everyone's investing in crypto, they buy crypto. If everyone's financing new cars, they finance new cars. High IQ thinkers, they pause. They ask a simple but powerful question. Does this actually make sense for me? During the 2008 housing bubble, millions of people bought homes because they believed prices would always go up. We all know how that ended. Here's what most people don't realize. High intelligence often shows up as skepticism toward group behavior. Psychologists call this reduced susceptibility to herd bias. Look, if you've ever felt weird for not following trends, that might not be insecurity. It might be independent thinking. 2. You obsess over opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is one of the most powerful ideas in economics, and most people completely ignore it. Let's say you buy a $50,000 car instead of a $20,000 car. Most people think the difference is $30,000, but that's not the real cost. If you invested that extra $30,000 at 8% for 30 years, it becomes roughly $300,000. That's not a car decision, that's a retirement decision. High IQ thinkers constantly run this mental calculation. Every purchase becomes a trade-off between present enjoyment and future freedom. And once you start seeing money this way, it's very hard to unsee it. 3. You're comfortable saying, I don't know. This is one of the biggest paradoxes of intelligence. The smarter someone is, the more comfortable they admit uncertainty. Research from Cornell University on the Dunning-Kruger effect found that people with lower ability often overestimate their competence. Meanwhile, highly intelligent individuals tend to underestimate what they know. In finance, this matters a lot because markets punish overconfidence. High IQ investors don't say, this stock is guaranteed to go up. They say, I might be wrong, so I'm diversifying. That simple mindset shift protects them from catastrophic mistakes. 4. You think in probabilities. Most people think in absolutes. This investment is good. This investment is bad. But reality doesn't work that way. High IQ thinkers think in probabilities. Instead of asking, will this work, they ask, what's the likelihood this works?
For example, let's say an investment has a 70% chance of returning 10% and a 30% chance of losing 5%. Many people avoid it because they fear the loss, but someone thinking probabilistically understands the expected value is positive. This is the same way professional poker players and hedge fund managers think, and over time, this type of thinking leads to better financial outcomes. Number 5, you delay gratification naturally. You've probably heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. Kids were given a choice, 1 marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows if they waited 15 minutes. The kids who waited tended to have better life outcomes later, better test scores, better careers, better financial stability. Why? Because wealth building is basically one long delayed gratification game. Investing $500 today instead of spending it might not feel exciting, but over decades, it becomes life-changing. High IQ individuals often have a stronger ability to imagine their future self, and that makes it easier to make sacrifices today. Number 6, you're skeptical of easy money. Look, here's the thing. If someone tells you there's a guaranteed way to double your money quickly, that's usually a red flag. High IQ thinkers instinctively question too good to be true opportunities because they understand a basic rule of finance. Higher returns almost always come with higher risk. If someone promises high returns with no risk, something doesn't add up. This skepticism protects intelligent investors from scams, bubbles, and hype cycles. Number 7, you enjoy learning for its own sake. Many people only learn things when they have to. High IQ individuals often learn simply because they're curious. They read about economics, they watch videos about investing, they ask questions about taxes, interest rates, and markets. And over time, this curiosity compounds, just like money does. Small bits of knowledge collected over years can create a massive advantage. Number 8, you notice small patterns others miss. Wealth building is often about recognizing patterns. For example, someone might notice that every time they get a raise, their spending increases too. That's called lifestyle inflation. Once you see that pattern, you can stop it. Instead of spending the raise, you invest it. Over a 20-year career, that single habit can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your net worth. High IQ thinkers often pick up on these subtle behavioral patterns faster than others. Number 9, you're comfortable being wrong. This might sound strange, but one of the most powerful traits in finance is the ability to admit mistakes quickly. Let's say you invest in something and it starts losing money. Many people hold on because they don't want to admit they were wrong. But high intelligent investors think differently. They ask, what's the best decision from this point forward? Not, how do I prove I was right? That mindset prevents small mistakes from becoming massive losses. Number 10, you think long-term. Finally, one of the strongest indicators of intelligence in finance is long-term thinking. Most people think about money in weeks or months. High IQ thinkers think in decades. They understand something called compounding interest. For example, if you invest $500 per month at 8%, after 30 years, you'll have roughly $745,000. After 40 years, that number jumps to about $1.5 million. The last decade produces almost as much growth as the first 3 combined. That's the power of compounding, and it only works if you're willing to think long-term. Now, here's what's interesting. A lot of these signs don't feel like intelligence at first. They feel like being overthinking. They feel like being skeptical. They feel like being cautious while everyone else is excited. But over time, those exact traits protect you from bad financial decisions, and they push you toward better ones. So, if you recognized yourself in some of these signs, that's a really good thing. Because financial intelligence isn't about being perfect, it's about thinking differently from the crowd. Call to action. If you made it this far, comment below long-term thinker. I read every comment. And if this video helped you rethink how intelligence shows up in real life, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Because on this channel, we break down the psychology and mathematics of money so you can make smarter decisions and build real wealth over time. And trust me, once you start thinking this way about money, you'll never see financial decisions the same way again.